estamos? Já estamos, não é? Portanto, o que eu pressionei ali da última vez foi o finish. Ok, pessoal, English. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Mother's Journey talk. Nice to meet you, but I'm not meeting you. I'm glad you joined us, nonetheless, for another topic related to motherhood and the mother's journey. My name is Satya Kaur and I'm the co-founder of the Mother's Journey Partnership. My current and long-standing partner is Elena O'Keefe, and we have a team of 9 other trainers who collaborate with us to offer a pre- and postnatal yoga teacher training. Soon we'll be launching as well classes of support and preparation for birth for parents and mothers. This partnership has been in place since 2009, and we have offered trainings in many European countries, and from October this year we'll be launching an online training. Very excited about that. I am also a mother and a grandmother, and I was a midwife working in Northeast London for 9 years. Welcome everybody. I see that many of you are arriving now from many different parts of the world, which is really exciting. Alangit. So the mother's journey, I've told you a little bit about it already. It is originally inspired by the teachings of humanology from the Kundalini Yoga teachings, and many of the techniques that we propose as support and preparation for birth and even exercises in the postpartum, etc., are connected to the technology of Kundalini Yoga as taught by Yogi Bhajan, but also many other ancient teachings and rituals that we have come across with from different traditions, different parts of the world, ancient traditions of female line. We also include them in our training as much as they're relevant to mothers and women today. Why these talks? Why these Mother's Journey talks? Well, in these times of lockdown and switching to the online medium more and more, we've decided to share some of the very interesting topics that are covered in the Mother's Journey training, because I find that these teachings, in this combination of yogic tradition, ancient female tradition, and including the spiritual dimension of our existence, is not commonly approached in other trainings of support for mothers. They tend to be more scientific or medicinal, or include aspects of psychological, social aspects, but we don't overtly talk about the spiritual dimension in the scientific context. We don't exclude either. We are mind, body and spirit, and therefore these teachings are very relevant, and I think all of you deserve to know about them, to enrich your life and the lives of women that you know that are going through this journey of motherhood. These talks happen every 2 weeks. The topic of today is yoga in pregnancy, and in 2 weeks' time we'll talk about the natural approaches to the induction of labor. And in that talk in 2 weeks' time, you'll have the pleasure of meeting Olivia Feit, who's a very good friend of mine and a very experienced clinical herbalist. I see that many of you are still arriving. I guess I should give a little bit more time. Nice to see you there, Sadhguru Kaur and Hirdanam. Welcome, Satnam. Wow. touches my heart. Arjuna, nice to meet you there. Okay, let's talk about the theme of pregnancy and meditation. Well, I'd like to think that meditation is a natural state for a pregnant woman, given that she's carrying another life inside of her, which in fact is a joyous, hopeful state of being, that she naturally is filled, and the hormones of course contribute to this, a natural ecstatic state. This is the natural state of a pregnant woman in an ideal world. Let's talk why, let's think why. So there's two main hormones, female hormones, that rule and control the pregnancy, and which are in much smaller doses in the non-pregnant state, and that's progesterone. And progesterone is a hormone that alleviates anxiety as one of the effects in the brain. And there's also estrogen, which is a hormone that is responsible for higher doses of serotonin in our bloodstream. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter, and it's produced all over the body, but it's as a result of higher estrogen levels. So these two hormones with these effects gives a sense that the woman will be more relaxed, and there's a well-being factor in her. There's another third hormone, relaxin, which is also in higher doses, circulating through the pregnancy, but relaxin is more responsible for changes in the musculoskeletal system, not so much in the brain. I'm more talking about the brain and the emotions. We know, for example, that the pituitary gland is 35% bigger during pregnancy. It just grows bigger. It has a pine shape, and it grows bigger during the pregnancy. Well, now from the yogic perspective, in terms of yogic anatomy, we know that the pituitary gland, or hypophyse in Portuguese, the pituitary gland is associated with the sixth chakra. Is considered one of our higher centers of consciousness. So this automatically makes you more connected to the higher realms. I know in yogic philosophy and anatomy, we have to talk about these other dimensions of our reality, and it's not all related very directly to science and measurements. We know from the scientific tests that yes, the pituitary gland is bigger, but we also know that consequently, on a spiritual level, the woman is much more intuitive. The sixth center, the sixth chakra, is associated with greater intuition. At the level of the body, the pregnant woman is more body. She's bigger physically, and there's more happening in her body. The body is flourishing, so she's more body and she's more spirit. Also from in terms of spiritual science, there's two spirits inside of her. There's the spirit of her baby and there's her own. So this makes her more spiritually per se. She is in that enhanced state. Spiritual means not bound by the confines of the mind and the body. She is much more vast in her, in the way she carries herself, in the way she operates. In Kundalini Yoga, we address the spiritual aspect of the person. We do this overtly, explicitly. So somebody who is in this enhanced state of being, where the spirit rules and the body has very eminent needs, very explicit and very important needs, and it can't be negated and it can't be ignored, then a technology such as Kundalini Yoga technology, where the body is exercised and stimulated and integrated the various parts of it. And through the technology of Kundalini meditation, where we train the mind to subside a little bit, we encourage the mental patterns to dissolve by introducing other vibrational patterns such as the meditation with mantra. Then we have a chance for this body and this spirit to be integrated as one and be experienced. The baby needs that. The baby is very much spirit in essence. The body is still developing. It's not much body, it's very much spirit. The soul is very present. So when a mother adopts spiritual practices during the pregnancy, there's a great relief for the baby, and there's a connection with the baby on the part of the mother. However, what is the reality of the pregnant woman? And I like always to apply these teachings and these concepts and these principles to the reality of a pregnant woman in our culture, in our society. The reality that because the woman enters an unknown journey, enters into an unknown world, and she hears stories, lots of other women tell her stories, but the media feeds those stories, and medical science thrives on fears and doubts and possible dangers, the identification of what goes wrong. That's how the medical system, the antenatal system, is set on detecting what can be going wrong. Very well, it's good to do tests and reassure that all is well, but with all these doubts and all this information being fed to the woman, or has it grown, what about the blood levels, what about the iron levels, what about the growth of the baby, what about the scan, all these things can generate a lot of anxiety in a woman. A pregnant woman, on the whole, tests have been done, research has shown that many women, as opposed to the contrary, in the ideal world and in the natural makeup, she'll be feeling more exalted and more relaxed. That's what the hormones do to her. The reality of our culture is that we generate a lot of doubt, we generate a lot of fear and anxiety. There's also changes in identity which can create stress related to relationships, body image, and self-identity, and questioning, am I fit for this job, or did I really want to kind of take on this responsibility? So unfortunately, the reality of life of many women in pregnancy, instead of being blissful, is full of stress. Especially if she keeps on working and she tries to meet the demands of a working life, linear time, and have the cognitive brain very active. So, for people who have anxiety, and for reasons I've already mentioned that are the reality of the pregnant woman's experience at the level of the body and the spirit, we know that meditation practice is indicated. The purpose of meditation is to clear the mind of subconscious patterns. We know that in meditation, when we stop the outside stimulus, we control our environment, and we sit down and we sit still. We know that, hi Susie, we know that the subconscious memories and the subconscious thoughts increase in a way, because now everything is quiet, there's no stimulus. Okay, let's go. What about this and that? So in meditation, when you invite the mind, invite you to focus on one thing, and adopt a certain posture, our habits put up a resistance. We don't want to go there. We don't want to be so simple. It's not interesting. What about? There's a kind of seducing of the mind with different thoughts and memories that maybe were stored and forgotten come up. This is meditation happening, and that's a good thing. In a pregnant woman, we want as much as her own stuff, her own garbage, her subconscious load, we want that to be released so it's not fed to the baby. Okay? A woman should do that work before pregnancy, but she can still do it during the pregnancy. So the meditation practice is very auspicious, not only for herself, to connect with her baby, because yogic practices have a unifying effect. She wants to connect to her baby. She wants to be connected to her future, her past. She wants to be connected to all aspects of her being. So, meditation has a lot to offer. Also, many women consider practicing meditation, or rather, I should say, many women want to prepare themselves for the birth of their child, which they know is going to be challenging, and they want to be prepared to deal with such a challenging experience. The body is going to experience extreme sensations, be put through a test, and they want to prepare themselves. Well, the reality is that a woman's body is designed to give birth. The body will do it. If you, your mind, and others around you don't interfere with your body and its own wisdom, the body will give birth. The hormones will secrete, the ligaments will stretch, the baby will feel the impulse to come out. However, we know that environments and the way the woman perceives her environments and the information she's being fed and the fears that she may be feeling and other people may convey to her, all this can interfere with the way the body works, with the way the organs behave, and with the hormones that are secreted. If there's fear, there's a tendency to constrict. And therefore, if you work during the pregnancy as a matter of training and habit, if you practice meditation, if you know to deal with challenging states in your body, because some meditations really put you, Kundalini Yoga meditation especially, they challenge your body and they challenge your habits. You're invited to assume a posture and sustain it over time. And with time, as time goes on, it becomes more and more uncomfortable. And if you train yourself gradually to deal with those sensations and face them with the breath, with a mantra, with a positive affirmation, you learn to overcome what you thought were the limitations of your body. So indeed, many women come, or they should, come to yoga and meditation classes to learn to deal with their mental tricks, because the mind tends to rule in our lives, and this can interfere when it comes to labor. There's various techniques in meditation that can help you with in preparation for the birth as a major challenge. It's a major physical test, and we know, for example, Olympic athletes train very vigorously, even mentally. We all know that Olympic trainings includes mental visualizations and positive affirmations with yourself. So should a pregnant woman should be doing this as well. Why not? Why isn't she doing that? We propose to teach it. So what are the meditation techniques that can really help? For example, to scan the body for areas of tension and tightness, to learn and teach the body to stay relaxed, teach the internal organs to stay relaxed and yield. This is something we learn in yoga classes through a deep relaxation and systematic relaxation of different parts of the body. We know that, for example, mantra, especially mantra recitation, quiet mentally or overtly chanting out, produces vibrations that are very healing, very soothing for the baby. And actually, these vibratory patterns can change the way that the cerebrospinal fluid flows in your brain and the associations you make. It can free you from that. We know, for example, that there are certain mudras, hand, arm positions, that when you assume them, the energy in your body flows differently. I'm talking about prana, but also even your blood circulation can change. So when you do certain challenging postures with your arms, especially when they're raised, it can create discomfort. And if the woman, through practice, learns to deal with these habitual reactions to discomfort, she can learn to prepare herself at the time of a bigger challenge at birth. There's other great meditations that you can do, for example, walking and meditating with your breath or with the affirmations that you can repeat for yourself. Walking is very, very good in pregnancy, especially if you can find natural environment, a park or fields or the beach where you can walk. Walking is the best exercise in pregnancy. And if you can associate it with if you can't connect directly to the environment to have it inspire you and revitalize you, then the repetition of mantra, especially if you're worried about something, can really alleviate stress through the pregnancy. There's also a tool, and I'm talking a real tool, I haven't got one on me. There's mala beads. Malas are like strings of beads that you can pass through your fingers. It's a traditional way of meditating with these type of string beads that you pass through your finger, and with each bead that passes through your finger in this kind of necklace, not too different from the rosary, you say a little prayer or a little affirmation, or you repeat a simple mantra. It can be a simple mantra such as Har or Satnam or whatever this kind of mantras we use. And especially at night when pregnant women sometimes experience insomnia. We don't know exactly what causes the insomnia of pregnancy, but it's a real pain in the neck. When you spend hours in bed trying to sleep, but you can't, then why not use a mala and just, instead of wasting the time or worrying about that you're not resting properly, use these beads in bed. You can use them. It's great for inducing sleep. It's like counting sheep. But you can actually, you can utilize them as a prayer and a positive projection. So these are various techniques that can help and enhance your experience of pregnancy, the baby's experience of pregnancy in the mother, and also preparation and training for the birth. In the gift that we offer you with after each of these talks, so you'll receive it tomorrow, there's instructions for a meditation from Kundalini Yoga repertoire that can help you prepare for the challenges of the labor, for example. We call these the hard arm exercises. There are meditation mudras that you arms and your hands, and you have them hold them for a while at a level higher than your shoulders or at the level of the shoulders, this particular one. For the full effects of any meditation techniques, you are advised to repeat and practice it every day, every day. So in this case, I suggest, because we recommend it should be practiced for 11 minutes a day. Well, it's difficult at first if it's your first time. I would recommend you practice them for about 3 minutes and see how you deal with that, what happens to you. And next day, see if you can talk yourself through the mental dialogue that will arise when your body starts feeling the discomfort. Try and hold it for 4 minutes. And then, if that's doable, you found a way of dealing with the sensations, then challenge yourself to practicing it for 5 minutes and so on. No harm in any of this. It can be a very useful tool. So if you registered for these talks, you will receive this gift, which is just a meditation, which you have to gift yourself by practicing it. But there's nothing like doing these practices in a group. The power of the collective, the power of the group, and the encouragement that you get from a group leader and your other pregnant women or other people will, can't be substituted. And if you're learning, it's important. If you're a master at meditation, then doing it on your own is a wonderful. You can actually do it outside on your own. You can feel union with all without people being there. But if you're a beginner, I suggest you join some class or group practice. Somebody's asking something in regards to the effects of meditation or specific meditation practice. Well, all meditation is recommended in pregnancy, whether it be silent meditation, whether it be singing, whether it includes some movements of the arms such as celestial communications, whether you do with a mudra or a breath type, then all meditations are conducive to clearing your own mind, to making space for your real self and your body's needs. So I don't have one in particular. I don't know of any Kundalini Yoga meditation that is good for giving birth or whatever. Oh, having said that, I take it back actually what I've just said. There's a meditation using the Kundalini Bhakti mantra, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Namo Namo, is very good for alleviating the karmic load of the baby. Puts the baby in touch with the life impulse, puts the mother in touch with the divine feminine, the great mother. It affects all aspects of life. It invokes on all the all-powerful goddess. This mantra is very liberating for men and for women, but especially for you and your baby, if you're carrying one, is the most indicated. This was shared in the last talk that I gave 2 weeks ago. So yes, I would recommend that. If you want one, I recommend that. So I have a little moment for you to post any questions you have. I may not have explained everything clearly. I know I haven't explained everything there is to be explained. But if something is not clear, or if you want to share a personal experience, feel free to send me a message through Facebook tomorrow. I'm happy to address any specific situation. These talks, which happen every 2 weeks, are on different topics. This last talk and this talk is more related to pregnancy. The next 2 or 3 talks will be more related to labor, and so on. We do it like in chronological themes. I see a question here from Pratap Dev. My dear friend, Yes. Yeah. The Kundalini Bhakti mantra, with any mudra associated with it, or even with any movement you like or dance you like to do, is very good. Any meditation cleans the subconscious, and that one in particular is supposed to empower the life and soul of the baby and helps the mother lose fear, which she may be experiencing some fears, like I said previously, in pregnancy, in the face of the birth. Then it's a good mantra to do. There's not all meditation is good. I think singing is more powerful, adds that sound vibration. Any meditation with the breath as well puts you in touch with your breath, so that it can be a companion when you're challenged at the birth to breathe and oxygenate yourself because you have extra demands. So yes. Well, thank you all for coming and joining me here. I love these topics. I hope you do too, and hope we can connect again in 2 weeks' time. So Satnam to all, bless you, and many of you are my dear friends, and even if you're not, I'm glad to connect here. Satnam.